Hey there folks, welcome back to the I Am CDB project. I'm your host CDB, you are not, and today we're going to shave the dome with RazoRock 1X. Same thing we used for the face shaving video earlier today, and we'll be using, we're actually going to use the Harry's today, fresh blade in that, and we'll talk about the Harry's cart if you're interested. And if you're not interested, we're still going to talk about going to be using the RazoRock F-400, which is a monster brush with that 34mm knot, which I think is really nice for head shaving. That's the primary reason that I use it. I used it pretty much all week, or at least most of the week this week. I can't remember when I got it, and I'll tell you the truth, but this rascal is huge, and you can really cover a lot of the dome with this brush, so it makes it very easy to apply a lather to your head with not a lot of effort, because it covers a lot of area at one time. So we'll roll with it, and it feels good too. It's got a really soft knot. It is large though, so just beware. And it is $24.99, which is quite a good price for a brush of that size. It's a little heavy because the handle is so big, but it's quite nice. And today we're going to roll with the Harry's razor here, which, you know, I've been comparing the Harry's and the Defender a lot in recent weeks, and I prefer the Defender for head shaving in terms of it's just more efficient, and it just does a little more. But what the Harry's does is it's very smooth. So if you're interested in just a really smooth overall shaver, the Harry's is very good. Now, one thing I will say about the Harry's, and I've mentioned it before, is I did videos in the past praising how much I like the Harry's, and I still do. And in fact, it was my favorite head shaving cart until the Defender came along and I tried it, and then I sort of, you know, now the Defender is my personal favorite, but the Harry's is still very good. Anyway, I made some videos with the Harry's, and I've told this story before, so forgive me if this is, you know, review for some of you, or something you've heard before. Anyway, I had made some videos with the Harry's talking about how great it was for head shaving, and they reached out to me and offered a refund, and this was maybe a year ago or a year and a half ago, and said, you know, the Harry's isn't designed for head shaving. And I was like, and I said, I know, but it works great. And I said, you know, I'm kind of an enthusiast in this, you know, wacky hobby, which is shaving, which is the weirdest hobby in the world for some. And it works great. And so I don't really need a refund. I still like it, and I'm still going to use it. And they was like, well, it's just not designed for head shaving, and blah, blah, blah. And it kind of came off a little snooty. You know, like, you don't know what you're doing was the insinuation. That's not what they said. That's my sort of take from it. And once again, I just responded and got, you know, if you'll watch my channel, you know, I've been doing this for some time, and, you know, I'm kind of into it. And I understand you didn't design it for head shaving, but it's a very good head shaving razor. And so then they said, you know, we're designing, I think they told me they were designing something for head shaving. So I don't know if that was just marketing, wanting to really establish that they're coming out with a razor specifically for head shaving, which they probably will at some point. Or, you know, they just weren't aware that there are shaving hobbyists out there who, you know, sort of know what they're doing. And anyway, it sort of came off to me as a little snooty. But that said, that aside, I should say, it's still a very good cart. It does a very good job. It's very smooth, and it's, you know, certainly the blades are more affordable than the Gillette blades. So, you know, you can take that into consideration if you like to use a cart for head shaving. And, you know, believe me, I used to poo-poo carts just as much as the other traditional shaving enthusiasts until I actually used them with a brush and a soap. And then I was like, they actually work pretty good. You know, I don't use them. I rarely use them on my face, but I do use them on my head every week. And you know what? they just work pretty doggone good. In fact, they work better for me than a DE. So, you know, what I learned from that was don't poo-poo stuff just for the sake of poo-pooing it, or just, you know, in a groupthink type scenario. Because, you know, those of us who are in this hobby sometimes fall victim to groupthink, and we just, without even trying, will poo-poo certain things and certain products or types of products. And, you know, give it a try and then see what you think. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's okay. But what I found was this razor and other cart razors really, at least on my head, do a very, very good job. So that's, you know, what I learned anyway. And your mileage, of course, may vary, as we always like to say. But overall, I think there is a place for, you know, carts in this hobby. The one thing that's a little different about the Harry's is if I use the Defender on my second pass, it's really getting clean, whereas I'm sort of having to feel around here with the Harry's because it just doesn't get as much per stroke as the Defender does, or at least the Defender with the regular blade anyway. So that's really the difference. But what this one is a really smooth razor, and I think it's probably a little bit easier on you if you have sensitivities and so forth and want a little smoother shave. Certainly you can try Harry's, or, you know, Schick Extreme 3, or really any of the carts if you're so inclined, and see how they work for you. And that's what I recommend, is just, you know, use what works best for you, and then don't be afraid to talk about it. A lot of guys, quite frankly, are afraid to talk about carts within the traditional shaving community because they immediately get heckled and poo-pooed and so forth. I'm just not one of those people. I don't care if I get, you know, made fun of and harangued and all the rest. If that's even a word, I'm not sure. may not be the word I'm looking for, but I've gotten to the point now where I just use what I like and what works well. And you should too. I don't care if you're on day 1 or day 1,000, or, you know, day 10,000, or year 5, or, you know, year 3. Use what you like. And you see how I'm doing this touching up? I typically don't have to do as much with the Defender, and that's why Defender is my #1 choice. Although this one, I think it's a little easier it's not as aggressive a cart as the Defender. Now, keep in mind the Defender has a few blade types, so you probably can ramp that down. I use the just regular. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, I still got a spot right there I need to get. Let's apply a little lather back there, just get a few of those spots. This is what I sort of have to do with the Harry's, is I always have a few spots, and I just have to feel around and really sort of dig in. Now, the good thing is, you know, you can sort of dig in a little with the Harry's and not worry too much about being cut, so that's good. All right, I think we've just about gotten where we need to be. How do we feel? We're feeling just about BBS, which of course is what most of us are shooting for right here. I need some work. And as you can see, if you've watched my videos the last couple weeks where I've used the Defender, I'm definitely having to do, I should say, more touch-ups, which is sort of what comes with the Harry's, at least for me. But I still like the razor a lot. It is a smooth shaver. It does a great job, and it's relatively affordable as far as carts go, at least. So if you want to try it, give it a shot. They do make a nice cart razor, and if you want to use a cart razor and it works best for you, go on and do it, and don't worry about what anybody has to say about it. That is my advice. All right, let me rinse. You know what? I'm not even going to rinse because I got to take a shower anyway. So we'll just quickly talk about what we used. When I get out of the shower, we'll of course apply a little Thayer's Witch Hazel. See there. Going to use the RazoRock 1X aftershave, which you saw earlier in the face shaving video if you watched it. Of course, we used the RazoRock F-400. Excellent, excellent, excellent head shaving brush. Go check it out if you want to get a lot of your head at one time. Look at that. That's pretty good stuff. And now I look more goofy than usual. Maybe I'll do like a mohawk strip down there. Anyway, really, really great brush. $24.99, 34 millimeter. I love it. And last but not least, despite the sometimes snooty communication by the folks at Harry's, really good cart razor in my estimation. So I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, I've been your host, CDB. You are not. God bless.